walking on sand and holding your hand. Feel like a tourist in my own homeland, in my own homeland. Enjoying the bright, the warm sunlight. Oh my God, what a beautiful sight in my own homeland. This place is so nice, wanna do everything twice. Yes, I feel as if I'm in a paradise. No matter the season, you've got every reason. This place is another little heaven. East or west,
Greetings, kings and queens. Welcome to another Real Stuff podcast. Today is Wednesday, and Wednesday we have featured guests. And our featured guest this morning is two queens, one from Trinidad and one from Jamaica. Yes, we have Akilah out of Trinidad and Antonia Valaire, aka AV from Jamaica. And we will be linking up with both queens in a few minutes. I got my podcasting team joining me in a few minutes as well. So stick and stay, don't go nowhere unless you got to get your tea like myself or some coffee. Whatever beverage you consume this time of the morning. We'll be right back.
Just take my advice, everyone is nice. You feel like royalty, my friend.
When did we start to retreat? Tell me, when did dignity and justice disappear? When did it not matter? Tell me, when murder was accepted? Why have you not spoken? Take a stand. Were you not watching the freedom fighters? Martin Luther King, Bob Marley, Rosa Parks, our heroes? Tell me, when was silence a defense? Am I alone? Am I the only one hurting? Where has everyone gone? Close mouth? Keep silence? Well, no more. If I must be alone, I must to stand for truth, God's truth, to stand for justice, not to withdraw. I will pay the consequences. Am I in fear? Sure, it's a human sensitivity, but it's through fear that courage is built. Can I withstand? At least I will try. But I guarantee that everyone will know that I spoke out and that silence was never my defense.
Yes. Words of wisdom. Top of the morning, everyone. Top of the morning. Antonia Valaire. Top of the morning, Courtney Flavius. Welcome to another Real Stuff podcast. Unmute your mics and let us talk. So let me start with you. AV, what's happening in your neck of the woods?
Bright and sunny, and I'm definitely giving God thanks for life and grace, because if I have life, there is hope. And so we're just there, I chill for the Real Stuff podcast.
All right. Flavius, what's going on in your neck of the woods, sir?
Well, we have sunshine, but it's a little bit bleaky. But on the news side, I haven't heard anything since yesterday, anything different, So I will listen for today. I know Jamaica is playing El Salvador on Friday, a match that they must win. So we're looking forward to that.
All right, Courtney, what's happening in your neck of the woods, sir?
Yes, in my neck of the woods, it's 65 degrees and sunny. And, so as you know, that weather is the thing that dominates this side of the U.S. But in the news nationally, I was listening about, they're talking about like air filters and, what it can do. And, there's a claim that it also can filter out, the coronavirus. So that may be something to look at. But I think what expert was saying, though, it's best that you keep your windows open, if you can, or if it's secure to do so. So, just want to put that out there.
Cool breeze, I would say. Cool breeze. That's what I'm going to say. All right. So this morning is featured guest, and one of our featured guests this morning is Antonia Valaire. I call her AV, so CAVW. She's in the building. So, Antonia, what's happening? Tell me what's going on, because I know you're a busy woman. You're on the veranda this morning?
I did the veranda conversations yesterday, so that's every Tuesday at 11 a.m. That's my own personal Facebook live show that I do, that I discuss, various topics, whether I read it in the newspaper, online, or writtenly, or what I hear on the radio, or stuff like that, or what I see around me. Mm-hmm. So,
True. And I know that you're supposed to be studying as well. Are you waiting for results?
So I am awaiting one of my grades. I attended VTDI, Vocational Training Development Institute. Mm-hmm. It's an arm of the arts, and I studied entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. So far, I've passed my project and exam, and I've passed a couple courses, but there's only one course that I'm not sure what the result is. So I await that result to know, what next.
Okay. I mean, I know when exam time come, a lot of youths, them get the jittery bug, Some of them, do well in class, and yet when exam, them fail. And people would consider that, maybe they're not studying and things like that. And now that COVID have chip in, it make pressure a little bit harder for them. You find that with any of your peers them on campus?
So when we started in 2019, and so we were on campus during that period. Mm-hmm. But from the year 2020 to 21, we majority of the time we were online.
Mm-hmm. Are you having problem getting in?
Getting online?
Are you having problem?
Flavius, mute him. Are you talking to Antonia? All right, go ahead, Antonia.
Oh, so we were online most of the time. Mm-hmm. Some of my classmates, they had issues with the online learn because most people, they are not accustomed to the online learn. For me, I didn't necessarily have an issue because I went to UA, mm-hmm. and we I think I had an advantage of, even though going to UA, we mostly do face-to-face learning, but we do, because it's university, by that stage you're responsible for your own learning. Mm-hmm. So majority of the times we, for example, to pick your courses, which is an headache, by the way, we have to go online. And to read notes, there's something called OURVLE. Mm-hmm. So we had some aspect of online learning that by that time I would have mastered. So when this came around, I was one of the few students who actually didn't have an issue. Like I readily, I didn't know to use some of the platform because VTDI, they don't use like Zoom or anything like that. They have their own platform that they use. Mm-hmm. But I was able to, like when I went on, I kind of, browse around and and stuff like, because I'm very curious. That's how I am. And I like to be on top of things. So if I don't know to use something, I'm going to try and, in my spare time, try to use it as much as possible to really get the most of it. And so that's what I did. I kind of went, ask questions. I wasn't afraid to ask my lecturers questions. I wasn't afraid to research things. Like I remember one time, I was in class and I realized that I could not comment or anything like that. I went and Googled it myself and then tell my lecturer and they told him what to do. It was kind of funny. So stuff like that. But a lot of people have issues with online learning. It's very difficult from a student perspective, as well as some of my lecturers. Some of them had issues because they are so accustomed to be face-to-face. They get their energy and enthusiasm from students. So being online, it's kind of boring. It's require a lot of technique that some teachers didn't have that technique. So yeah, that was my experience.
So you were head of the pack early out.
Yeah, to an extent, I would say I had an advantage, to be honest.
That's good. That's good. So, you on the poetry now? How you doing with the poetry right now?
Well, I'm doing very well. I'm always, writing, and I'm always aligned poetically. Everything I do is poetically. Recently, I will be in an anthology titled Miss Lou, 100 Voices. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. It will be published by UA Press, and basically, it have a lot of great, not only poets, because they have sections. So you have poets, you have short story writers, or people who have personal experience with Miss Lou. So the book will be super great. I'm looking forward to that in that aspect. I am also currently working on a manuscript for a client. So I'll see how that goes. That would be my first working on someone else's book. That's a great task.
So you're busy, man. You're a busy woman.
I try to be, especially in this pandemic. I think it's the best if you have not been busy before. Yeah, it's best that you find an hobby. You find what you're passionate about. You find a new skill. Really get your mind active and get the best out of this time, because by the time the pandemic over, you kind of want to be ahead of the pack in certain things, or you'd have gotten something out of this negativity. There must be something positive. I always believe that there has to be a balance, positive and negative. There has to be.
Yeah, man. I love that. I love your vibes and your enthusiasm, because as I'm going to say this, and I will keep on saying it, a virgin of mine. Once a guest on the podcast in 2020, May, a year after that he passed away. I always say, Mr. Franco, with the COVID go on, some positive come out of it, may I tell you that. And he was a man of strong faith. And I can see, day by day, people, including myself, yourself, and others, are really, finding positive out of the negative. Because if we sit down and murmur and just wait, say, boy, all of this are going to blow and pass by, it's not going to just happen so easily. Because this is something that's going to live with us. I am interested in something that a challenge that was given to you months ago, right? You remember the challenge?
No, I don't recall.
All right. I think we were on a youth discussion, a youth program, talking about the youths and the obstacle that a lot of them were facing. And if one youth could sit down and talk to you and give you a story, they could write a book out of it. But they were lacking in certain areas. And I think one of my guests said to you, well, here what I'm going to do. I want you to engage some youths. So I'm going to drop you, a donation, and you work with it and tell me what you can get out of that.
Okay.
How did that work out for you?
Well, it worked out very well. It was the first time I'm doing something like that. I mean, I'm always giving to people, but never in that way. I don't know how to describe it. But Leighton is his name. He gave me money and he sent it to me, and I was able to basically, I saw this ad that was going around about the school, and they were saying that several students didn't have Wi-Fi and money. So I decided to contact the principal, and I decided to send to like 3 students. And of course, she was asking me, "Do you know these students?" And I was like, "No, I don't know them. I saw their names, and I was led to pick those 3 names, and I sent some credit so they could have online class. And then at my church here, it's a community church. They had a elderly basket, so I decided to send some money to that as well. And I also sent to some boys. There were 3 boys. They are without mother, and so I sent money to them as well for their schooling, and I got great results. I got pictures and stuff like that, and they were very excited. But I'd forgotten this. Let me say this first. So when I got the money first at MoneyGram, the first thing I did was to give the security money, because that's the thing. I just said, I got it. Yeah. I'm going to give the security the money. I go and give security money. So I just began just giving right away the minute I got it.
Whoa.
Pretty much. Yeah. So I gave a detailed analysis of what I did with the money to Leighton, and he was very pleased with so many people that I assisted with it. And it kind of opened my eyes as well, because I was saying to the Lord, I was saying, who am I to give, and how am I to give it, basically. And I was just amazed that, with the amount of money that I could give so many people, and it just opened my eyes that sometimes small can give to a lot of people, just you break it up, and
Yeah.
And people they were very happy and pleased, and stuff like that. And I was very happy as well to be a part of that.
It's like the biblical story with the fish and the bread. I know it fed a multitude. Yeah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. I am open, and when I say open, I'm open that this will continue, because I've spoken with Leighton, and he too was, really, really impressed. To see that, because people have this this saying that, and it's not only Jamaicans it's happening to, it's all over the Caribbean, that when you send things to family members or friends back home, right, they tend not to want to, use it and do anything. They're just waiting for more and more and more. And when you ask them, what did you do, and did you start that project, or did you work on that project, did you invest, or did you continue with the project I left behind? And them say, no, you want to see, them give you some stories. Yeah. But I could see you had stories that you could send back to him, and and he was more than impressed. I can tell you that, because I spoke with him, and he was more than impressed, and he wants to make it even bigger and better. So that's something I would, participate in myself as well, because that's things I figure say, sometime, there's some people along the roadside that I rather give them my money, honestly, than drop it off at a church. And it's a reason why I would talk to you off here with that. But
well, in this instance, when I know the church member and the bishop first. I know that there's a lot of things going around with church also. There's like this bad cloud, and they have a history of things. But I could see, I visibly saw what the money did. So there is accountability. So that's the thing with me. I like to do research. Yes. I studied history. That's my area. So I like to research people. I like to observe people and what they do. And also I like to test people. So Leighton tested me. I'm an honest person, and I don't take people thing like and the mission is also same as what we have the similar mission. Like, I'm always giving back. I want to invest in the youths. Yes. As a young person myself, and I look around. And what I expressed while Leighton wanted to keep was what I saw. And it was just the truth. So he was moved by that. And, so I did, what I was supposed to do.
Fair enough.
Franco, just a minute, please. Our other guest has arrived.
I've seen them. Courtney.
Yeah, Franco, I'm right here.
You want to ask Antonia anything?
Yes, Antonia, AV. I'm just curious, because being a Christian and, your expressions about social injustice and, the crises and problems that are happening around us. And I'm seeing that, many Christians are very fearful, in doing this kind of expression. What motivates you or inspire you to go out on that limb? Because, Christians tend to feel like if you express yourself that way, that you're not really a Christian or you're not really serving Christ.
Well, the thing about me is, that I don't follow religion or denomination, and the Bible is there to read. And some, if people say that they're following Christ, then whether people believe in Christ or not, but what is presented of Him, it's aligned to righteousness and goodness. And that's something that all human beings must ascribe to, or that should be our mission of righteousness. And so, the idea that people are fearful or they can't express themselves openly because they're confined by their faith. I don't see my faith confined in me, because I have to only express truth. And I have to express what I see and what I discern. And I think that's the issue here, is more of a physical sight versus a spiritual sight. You understand? So most people are using their physical eyes and not their spiritual insight. And that's where the confusion is. So, people like to preach the doom and gloom, because they like to read one section of the scripture instead of reading all of the scripture and get the context. And so those are issues that we have to look beyond, basically. So that's, and I'm a positive person, and I believe in Christ and I believe in His works, and I'm still learning and I'm still reading, but I'm very expressive, and my poetry does align to my belief. So yeah.
Yeah, because why I ask you that question. The reason is that, like, if you should tell people that the original disciples, that they were really opposing the oppressive system, of the Romans at the time, and that's why, they were called zealots, or zealots, depending on how you use the word, because there was a disciple by the name of Simon Zelotes, who was amongst them, and he was a leader amongst them. So, you see, these people who are like saying that, well, you can't express as a Christian about social injustice and political problems and crisis, we see that they are wrong, because these disciples were really revolutionaries then, so to speak, in their time. That's why Peter was always walking with a sword. So, I am trying to figure, how can these people get to a point that, yes, you're a Christian, but you live in a physical world where you have physical problems, that need to be addressed. And your Christianity should not stop you from doing this. Because I notice like preachers don't try to talk about these social issues. So what do you think can be done?
Well, listen, Courtney, as I said, in terms of the scripture, we like to read things one-sided. So, people like to draw for one scripture where they show all the goodness. And, if you express yourself a certain way. So, for example, in my community, I have a lot of issues with my neighbors. So even though I'm a Christian, and yes, people say you must show love and all that, at the same time, the scripture does tell us the very appearance of wickedness, you should shun it. Yet the Bible tells us you must be in love. So the Bible is not contradicting itself, it's actually showing a balanced view, because there shall be a time of peace and there shall be a time of war. And we are in a time where you're seeing things physically and you're seeing things spiritually, and you know that there is peace and there is war, and there are occult people in the world, and there are people who are doing wickedness. So if people are doing wickedness, I don't know if it would be wise of you to continue to show love to wicked people, because some people are at a level where they're born in a wickedness and they will continue to be in wickedness. And some people, they were born into a family of witches and warlocks. So if they're in a family of witches and warlocks, it is a war between good and evil. So there is no way on earth that I can be just preaching love and good and all that. You're a soldier in this warfare. So there has to be a balance to know when to show love and when there has to be war, and when you have to stand up for justice and rights of all people. And that's what I preach, rights and justice. And I don't see in the Bible where it's against anything like that. Matter of fact, the Bible shows you several ways that several places were destroyed because of their wickedness, and families were wiped out because of how wicked their generation is, that there should not be left any trace. A lot of people don't want to preach these parts of the Bible that show you how strong God moves, because they must say, oh, God is a wicked God. But it's not God that God wicked. God is showing that some people are so wicked you have to wipe them out, and that's just the truth. So that's my mission on earth, to stand on both sides, know when to show love and when to show war and fight for your rights and justice.
Why, AV, I wish I did close by you, Jano. I'd really give you an organ case, because I have that opinion too, Sometimes, you try preach love and unity with some people, and them that, them a warmonger. And there are times you have to, deal with them way there. You understand me? You have to deal with them the way there. There's no if about it, because I just said it's in the Bible, it is there. Even though we know that sometimes we cannot really do certain things, unless it was ordained to us, but there's some words. Sometimes when you listen to some words, that's why I've been doing a whole heap of meditation, and going back into the things I used to do back in the days, and I'm seeing things that, much more different, like you hear the song say, if you look into your heart now with a positive mind and all them things there, you're going to see some things that, you're not going to even feel, so boy, man, them things are really are going on earth, because earth really are run red right now, So we give kindness to those who are kind to us, and if your tribe, tell a next man who is a rebellious man, say, boy, you have to change your way, and him not change him way, then him going to feel it.
Well, Franco, the simple thing that is written in the Bible is that the Almighty says that he's a God of war and a God of peace. Mm-hmm. So, it's as simple like that.
Yep. Antonia. You disappear. Where she gone?
Oh, I'm not disappear. I'm still here.
Okay. One of the things I wanna. I mean, we could have reason, but we're more like coming like we ask a question. When I reason, we don't want to reason you. Seeing about some of the things them like. We know the pandemic. We don't know when it's going to go done, right? But I know that a lot of people are positioning themselves. For when it's over, things that they want to do, and these are things that people have been thinking that they should have been doing long time ago, and because they have been stationary, they can't move around. Them start, utilize them wisdom, and them things that come to them. Looking around you in the community that you live in, there's a lot of stuff that that can be done after the pandemic, right? Are there anything that you have identified yet that you figure after this have passed, then you want it to be a challenge, not for you alone, but you can get others involved as well?
I mean, I see two things. Mm-hmm. One is definitely like cleanliness. I see where a lot of garbage, like this community I've lived there for 29 years.
Mm-hmm.
And from, I live here, like it wasn't a community that people throw garbage. Like most people here were at a certain age group.
Mm-hmm.
But now that people are moving out, their children are taking over, the place has become, like a garbage dump, pretty much. So that's something that, that comes to mind. Another aspect, which is the most important, is since the pandemic, I realized that a lot of people, individually people can find their own hobby, but mostly for the youths, like I see where them just on the streets, like I just see them not doing anything. So I was thinking like, maybe we need some workshop or or something. So I don't know the idea fully yet.
Yeah.
But those are the two things that I've noticed that I would see of major importance right now.
All right. I love that. Well, we're gonna reason some more when next time. So we have other guests that we know we want to come in and hear some stuff from them. I see Akilah is here and Cynthia is here as well. This morning is not men at work. We have queens among us this morning, and that is refreshing to know that we have some queens among us. And you certainly is a queen. I've been watching your strive and your work, and I look forward to working with you as well. So the only thing we can say, more blessings to you, Antonia, more blessings.
Thank you for having me, and I appreciate everyone. And I say greetings and salutations to all, and big up. Hope you have a safe and healthy day.
Yeah, man. Likewise, my sister.
Thank you.
One love.
I say up, up, up. I rise up, sunrise shining, new day dawning, giving hope and inspiration. Up, 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 way up. Give thanks for blessings, great and small. Give thanks for loved ones near and far. Give thanks for health, strength, and prosperity. Up, 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 way up. Like one, standing straight and strong. First and foremost, I and I say one. One aim, one destiny.
Yes, right about now I'm gonna bring in Queen Lubafu along with Sister Akilah this morning. And Sister Akilah and Queen Lubafu, I think, are in the same location this morning. So let me bring in Queen Lubafu and Sister Akilah. Top of the morning, Queens.
Pleasant good morning. Caro.
All right. So, Akilah, could you tell me? Are you hearing me?
Yes, I am hearing you.
All right. Tell us about yourself. Tell us who Akilah is, because I just know about you last night, and I didn't get no literature on you to read up more about you. So tell me who Akilah is. I know you're from TNT.
Yes, yeah. I am Akilah Jaramogi Ifa Bosola from the forest of Trinidad and Tobago. I'm a forester. I'm a cultural activist, and also social entrepreneur. And I live in the forest in St. Anne's. I'm a descendant of the Merikin Maroons in South Trinidad. And I am here as one of the founding members and coordinators of the Maroon Women Network here, uniting Maroons of the diaspora. That's why I am here in Dominica at the moment with Queen Lubafu.
Okay. That is good. That is good. So tell me, what's the conference all about? You say it's about Maroons.
Yes. The conference is about Maroons as well as the indigenous peoples of the diaspora. So I will give you a little history of what really happened to make this movement what it is today. In 2014, a memorandum of understanding was signed between Trinidad, Jamaica, and Suriname to work with Maroons of the diaspora and address environmental and social issues that we face. So today, following all the work in 2014, we took a mission to the UN in 2019, myself, Queen Nani, Gloria Sims, and Ambassador Fidelia Grangalon. Yeah, this contingent was facilitated and coordinated by myself, my office in St. Anne's, Sponsorman, as well as with the support of Bridgewater State University in the US. So we got all our brothers and sisters together at the UN in 2019, along with one Phil Fixico from the Seminole indigenous groups in the US. And we put our case forward to unite Maroons of the diaspora and to seek indigenous people status for all Maroons within the region. So following that, because we just had 3 countries really representing us there, uniting Maroons as well as North America Seminoles, our mission was still to continue the work of reaching out, finding those stories of Maroons and Maronage around the Caribbean, getting the countries involved so we can be talking the realness of what uniting Maroons is all about. We can truly hear the voices from Jamaica and St. Lucia and Barbados and Martinique, Guadeloupe, St. Vincent, Grenada, Trinidad, Carriacou, Guyana, Belize, and Dominica. So here we are in Dominica making this happen, working with our brothers and sisters and also working with the indigenous groups such as the Garifuna and the Kalinago, and well, we are Merikins, then we have the Gulaguchis and the Temni peoples and the Seminoles and the Tainos and the Hayarima, but cultural groups, indigenous groups, we want to bring them all together in a common space. We will be having this meeting both virtual and in person. So those who cannot travel will travel the spiritual way, telepathic way, and the virtual way. So we open up the space to welcome all our brothers and sisters. We open the space to welcome our brothers and sisters as we celebrate the ancestors, as we celebrate our ancestors on whose shoulders we stand tall and proud, on whose shoulders we stand tall and proud, depending on their guidance and protection as we work towards having ourselves as a peoples working towards freedom, true freedom within the region. Thank you.
Shlohali Wadani, our time has come.
Ashe.
Yeah. Queen Lubafu. Iseni. Is Queen Lubafu. She not coming in? Where she gone? Okay. Flavia, sir. I hand it over to you now. Any question? Courtney, any question?
Yes, just quick question. So how many different indigenous people are participating in this conference?
First of all, this conference is to focus strongly on the Maroons of the diaspora. And we are in Dominica here, so our conference starts with a smoke ceremony with the Kalinago brothers and sisters, the Kalinago chief, the shaman, and all, members of the Kalinago community. So this is where we start our gathering. And of course, we have our ambassador at large from the Garifuna Nation. And again, she represents all Garifunas around the globe, I should say. So we have Queen Lubafu here with us. And also we have participating online. We have Queen Nona Akwan from the Ayarima community of First Peoples from Trinidad. And we also invited the Taino community as well to take part. So this is what, we have been able to, pull together, mobilize, invite, and draw the energy of, our indigenous brothers and sisters along with our Maroon community. Yeah.
Sister Akilah, what end results are you expecting? What are you looking for at the end of this conference?
As we say again, the testimony of uniting Maroons of the diaspora. Uniting Maroons of the diaspora. We choose 6 pillars in which our conversation will be going. We say, Uhuru, we are united in the cause of freedom. Ujima, we work for the upliftment of all. Mbungi, we gather to learn from each other. Kapale, we gather in the name of our ancestors. Gayap, working together for a positive cause. We are stronger working together. And Liberty, we gather with respect and to respect the forces of life and nature. So putting these pillars before us, being guided by these pillars, we are hoping for the outcome based on what we put out. The energies we put out is what we will be getting in return. But most of all, paying homage to our ancestors and asking for their spirit and their guidance to guide and protect us in moving forward. Following this meeting, we are preparing a contingent to go to the UN, to go back to the UN with our statement, with our declaration, with our request for Indigenous people status for all Maroons. We ain't asking, we're telling them, this is it, so we can, have rights like everybody else around the world. Seek the rights of our people, and based on the outcome, at the end, we will be sharing the outcome of this gathering because it's a working gathering, yeah?
So will you be getting support from other First Nations around the world?
Oh, yes. Well, we are sending the energy out there, and already we are getting support. Already we are getting support. So at the end, we will be sharing the results of our outcome. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. And how long is the conference?
The conference is from the 12th to the 16th of November.
Okay.
Yeah.
4 days, yeah. That's good.
Yeah, 4 days of work. 4 days of work, And as we go, we pay homage. As we enter this land, as we start whatever we do, we call on those elders, we call on those freedom fighters, we call on the elders who said, the ancestors who said no to being enslaved. We call on the spirit of Bala, Facel, Kongore, Cicero, Jaco, Kwashi, Mabuya, Jaba, Zombie, Marie Rose, Piti Jackie, Agata, and Angelique. These are some names you will have heard in Dominica and continue to hear, But in the history books, they are not being told. They are not being taught of. Their histories have been suppressed and deliberately wiped out. But we are here to revive the history. So even Suriname, as we call on the Aluku people, the Okanisi, the Matawai, the Pamaka, the Quinti, the Samaka, we call on these different groups in Suriname. In Jamaica, right home there, we call on all the Maroons around, those brothers and sisters from Scott Hall and Charlestown and Trelawney Town and Akampong and Motown, all come support this cause. It's not about who doing it, it's about the call in, the ancestral call, answer the call in whatever way you could support us, in whatever way supporting yourself, because this is for all of us, the advancement of our people in the region. And I say, Mudupe, Mudupe, Mudupe. Thank you, brother, for giving us this opportunity to share this on your program. But again, I just want people to just take this and, in whatever way, send the blessings and the power, to us so we can make this. Our success is your success. And your success is my success. Yeah, I share.
Truhali Wadani, our time has come.
Yeah, based on the old COVID protocol, what kind of numbers are you looking at in Dominica for the conference?
All right, so our banquet, we will be having not more than 35 people, and it's an open space, so it's not enclosed in AC and stuff, open air. Those who know Jonga Bay in Dominica, it's a nice, eco-friendly space. And, we'll be having His Excellency, the President of Dominica, join us at the opening, as well wonderful. As the chief and the leaders of the Garifuna and the Kalinago people. They will be here with us, the Rastafarian community, as well as the Maroon descendants of Dominica. We have representatives from Sierra Leone Maroon community here with us as well. So we are looking forward to having some real power energy there, bring down some power and, appease the ancestors. Because when they are happy, we are happy. When our ancestors are happy, we are happy. And we will be happy because our mission is to call the names. Our mission here is to answer the ancestral call. Our mission is to send the energies to our brothers and sisters all over the globe to know that this is our time. And before the end of the decade, International Decade for People of African Descent, I assure you that the shift will be there. It's a must. We claim it. Ashe.
Truhali Wadani, our time has come.
Ashe.
Oh, it is. It has come, yes. I think this is a fantastic conference, and it's also very, very timely. Very timely, very appropriate at this time.
Ashe. And we give thanks to the Charlestown Maroons. We give thanks to Colonel Marcia Douglas. We give thanks to our own Gaman, Mama G. Oh, we celebrate her because she is doing libation, and she sends libation and blessings, and we celebrate our Queen Mama G, Yeah, as Queen Alice would say, celebration time. All the women.
So Mama G will be present? Mama G will be present?
Spiritually,
okay.
virtually.
Okay.
She sent her blessings and her greetings pre-recorded as well.
Okay, wonderful.
Ashe.
All right.
Back to you, Franco.
Yeah, thank you.
I think this is very powerful. Very, very powerful.
Thank you.
So this conference kicks off November 12th.
Friday, yeah.
Friday.
Yes, and we start with an early sunrise smoke ceremony in the forests of Dominica with the indigenous peoples, with the Garifunas and the Kalinagos. But most of all, the Kalinago community. With the smoke ceremony. And then the banquet and gathering, the opening of the conference at 5 p.m. at Jungle Bay.
And you will be a speaker there too as well?
Yes, I will be.
Okay.
Just giving greetings.
She's the lady of the hour. She's the lady of the conference.
What's one of the
sisters before that? I have my sister here, the power
Franco.
Queen.
Look who's there. Look who's that.
Queen Lubafu,
Our own Queen Lubafu.
Queen Lubafu.
Yes. Our time has
the
come.
powerhouse queen in the house.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes.
Merging energies of the First Peoples and the Maroons.
Let me tell you at this time that the Real Stuff podcast have a segment of our show that we call Indigenous Outlook. So we'd like to invite you to come back and take part in that section.
Definitely.
Queen Lubafu can tell you about it. She has been on it many times.
Okay.
And this is a platform that we have laid away for Indigenous people. That's your platform on the Real Stuff podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah. So with this conference now, you can invite all your people to come, at different times on the Indigenous Outlook. It's a platform too that we have given to the Indigenous people so they can promote whatever they are doing. Tell people, show people what is happening. It is your platform.
Sure.
Your platform.
Thank you for that.
So I'm very glad that I'm speaking to you now.
Okay.
So there's a wide opening, invitation. You just tell us when you want to come on, when you have something to do, and we will schedule it.
Welcome.
Akilah, one thing I want to know, Akilah, how many of the brothers are you expecting to be there?
Oh yes, we have a good list of brothers at the gathering. We have 2 of our legal reps from Dominica here. Tiani, brother Tiani, and we have brother Wilshire, and we also have brother Amadou Masali, Sierra Leone connection, and we have a lot of the brothers on the ground, brother Siwatu, and culture minister, and the president, of course, a big brother in the house, and also some of our advisors here in Dominica on the ground who have been advising me for the past 2 years. I visited here in 2019 doing my fact-finding mission to truly understand why they really suppressed the history of my Black people in Dominica, and so on. And it is worth telling.
The dread law.
And also hearing about the dread law, the Rasta law, the dread law, where they would have, imprison brothers and sisters who had Rasta hairstyle and so on, give them 9 months in prison for just wearing your locks.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
So that's something. Is it something that they is it a part of what you call it now? That's a part of them law, or is it in the Constitution?
It no longer exists.
It doesn't exist, but we were told by the Rasta community, and we are very careful how we distinguish, because what happened, we are one people, and we went into the mountains yesterday. That's why we had to take pictures in the waterfalls.
Yeah, those waterfalls and those big rocks.
Oh my God. We had started off from the awesomeness of our people by the sea, who had been put in caves, people who had been held at ransom with the church, being a custodian of the property. We'll talk about that later. And then we went from there to a sacred place where the Maroons who helped the enslaved to come out were put on stakes. They were lynched and they were put by the seaside as an example on the side of the road, as an example to those who dared to fight And then from there, we went into the mountains, Maroon trails, Maroon sites. There are 14. And we have to honor and celebrate those of us who have overcome. And so it is when we are going on this pilgrimage, it's a continuation of this pilgrimage, that we learned how our brothers and sisters, we met them who had been incarcerated for wearing their locks, for being themselves. 9 months. We met several of them yesterday. It has been an amazing experience. And the distinctiveness of the Garifuna is because we bring together the indigenous, Arawak, Kalinago, whatever name, Taino, and the African together. We went to the Kalinago territory the day before, and we went into the water where the river meets into the sea. Yesterday, when I sent you pictures, it is where the two rivers meet. So this is for real, for real, for real. This journey of affirming our people who developed sustainable development long before the United Nations. We are not disrespecting the United Nations, but our people are bountiful. You come to Dominica, everywhere, food. You see food in the mountains, everywhere. People don't go hungry, but it's these oppressive systems and people who constrain and brutalize our people. We went and we met the cardinal of the Catholic Church beside this cave. And we spoke with him and asked him, let us open the doors wide where we can walk through and uplift and celebrate and acknowledge and affirm our people who have suffered and they're still here, and let them tell their story. I never knew that people who wore locks would have been in prison 9 months. That's like you have a baby in 9 months. You know? It was so deep. And the brother was slowly telling us his story yesterday when we were in the mountains. So when we send you a picture of our being, it is to consecrate and give thanksgiving for the suffering and the genocide that our people have experienced all over the world. No matter what the name, we are one people, one. Rasta, Maroon, Garifuna, Kalinago, we are one.
Sure. And the thing about it is not about waiting for historians to tell the story. We want the people themselves, the descendants of these, Maroons who are alive and around here. We want the young people to be in the midst so they can learn. They can get a different sense of what true education is all about, what his story and her story, grandma's story and grandpa's story is all about. So it can mean something to them. That's right. They can feel it and know it's in their DNA. Right. Why they're rebelling against certain things, because it's deep in their DNA. It's in the spirit. But we have to enlighten them, empower them, and let them know from whence they came, and give them the power and glory to know that we are here to bless them. We are on their sides. So this is about the young people as well. This is about the people of Dominica telling their stories.
That's right. Change the narrative. Thank you for this program. Because this program is part of our program where we are presenting University Without Walls, where the world is a classroom. It's no longer, COVID is teaching us that these buildings are no longer the place of learning. Yes. So we have the opportunity, all of us have the opportunity in all our territories to begin to do the authentic education of the indigenous people, of the Maroon people, of the Garifuna people, of the Lokona people, of the Merikin, of the Taino, and we have to take an inventory of these names that we have given ourselves. We go to the Kalinago territory, and they do not want to be referred to as Caribs. We are Kalinago. Just as how the Garifuna say, we are not Black Caribs, we are Garifuna.
Yeah. Wow.
So we are getting ready to say
Queen Lubafu, one thing I'm asking you to do for me, right? Continue sending those pictures, because I'm making a photo journal for you.
Okay.
And at the same time, I hope you're doing an audio, doing some audio as well, because this is a nice documentary, a book.
Absolutely. Well,
for the future.
Sister
Because
Akilah is in charge of that, and she is going to. She will decide how to connect you with the media. Because we have a powerful media like you.
I don't know where you're going to go next. But you're coming like this guy. They used to have this guy on program on one of those TV channels. Let us say, where is Hal going next?
That's right. Okay. Well, Sister Akilah, we're saying goodbye because. Not goodbye. We have to move on because today's a serious planning day.
Yes. We too.
But thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the time.
Shruhali Wadani, our time has come. Shruhali Wadani, our time has come. Shruhali Wadani, our time has come.
All right. Thank you very much, ladies. Thank you very much.
I say up. I rise up, sunrise shining, new day dawning, giving hope and inspiration. Up, way up. Give thanks for blessings, great and small.
Yes, indeed. We gotta give thanks for our guests this morning. We have earlier with us Antonia Valaire, aka AV, a well-talented poet, and of course an entrepreneur as well. I also want to give thanks for Queen Lubafu and Sister Akilah for the taking time out of their schedule this morning or this afternoon. They're here for a big conference of indigenous people. And before I go, I just want to ask you or remind you, please remember to subscribe, like and share the video, because the object of this channel is to educate you and to entertain you as well. And remember, the Real Stuff Podcast is your Caribbean podcast. Courtney, let me call upon your service once more. Give me the summary, my brother.
Yes, as you just said before, we spoke with Antonia Valaire earlier on, and talk about her Christian beliefs, a little bit about her poetry, and what is our objective for our future. And surely we know that she's a multi-talented person, and we see that she has been doing a great service to the community that she lives in. We also spoke with Queen Lubafu and Sister Akilah in Dominica, about the conference of the indigenous peoples, the Maroons, the Garafunas, the Lacanas. And surely I know that we have been educated about, what's happening with our people, because many of these things I did not know myself. And I'm so happy to learn, from these people, who have lived it, and as we know that, like the Garifuna people were people that were never been enslaved, so they have not, really go through the process of brainwashing and the things that we are get their minds conditioned to, the learning of the enslaved or the teaching of the enslavers, so they didn't learn their ways. And many of these indigenous people, they have been sticking to their cultural ways and ways of living. So, I'm truly happy to know that we have these people around to educate us and to give us, a sense of being about our history. Back to you, Franco.
Yes. Thank you, Courtney. I want to give some shout out to all those people inside the YouTube live this morning. Malachi. I see Malachi Smith is there. I see the Thinking Bean is there as well. And Empress Talit, she's back. She's there. I want to thank you for participating in the live chat. And those who didn't participate, we thank you for taking time out and being there as well. And so, live and love every moment of your life. Be grateful for each new day. Cherish your family and friends. Bless others. Keep the faith. Never lose hope. And remember, prayer changes things. Regardless of what religion you belong to, you must pray and continue to pray. So on behalf of my podcasting team, Courtney, Flavius, Francine, Max Wanit, and myself, have a joyful morning, a joyful afternoon, a joyful evening, depending on the time zone that you're in. And the Our Father, I'm going to ask Queen Lubafu to say the Our Father in the Garifuna language, and Tafina will take on myself to take us out of here. Until then, take care of yourself and your loved ones.
You belong far away away. Ajuguala leva buseru. Lida mua, lida sungpula. Lida mua, lida sungpula.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.
All you gotta do is just speak. One word is enough, and I'm no longer sorrow. I forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me know what set me if it could flee. Me if it take away me say.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.
Me if it eye like a thief in the night.